Today I'm joined by someone whose work feels as thoughtful as it is bold. Tamta Mosulishvili is the founder and creative mind behind Quintet London, a brand that curates identity, emotion, and individuality through design. Her vision holds space for depth, story, and self-expression. I've been really curious about the woman behind it all, the creativity, the purpose, the intention. And today we get to have that conversation. Tamta, welcome to the podcast.
So my favorite word is called serendipity, and I think our meeting is definitely serendipitous because life is so interesting in London. Like you meet many people, but then we met. I wasn't planning to go to this pop-up. One of my friends told me you should join, and I went, and then by accident, we could have missed each other in 10 seconds. If I wouldn't have looked that way or passed that side, we couldn't have met each other. So this is very special how you can meet people, and now we are here. So excited to be part of your podcast.
I think everything happens for a reason. You get the energy you put out, so, nothing is by mistake or random. You go out and you have this energy and you're looking for specific people to connect to, and then you meet these people. Yeah, I really like that. And that's why I started the podcast, to connect to really interesting people with really cool stories, interesting life journeys. Like yours. I absolutely love your brand. It has a message, and I love things that have a message that feel personal, that feel unique. You're not just selling something. It's a story. It's storytelling, isn't it? Storytelling through something that you create.
Most important for me with our creations is that we can truly evoke most beautiful emotion in people when they receive such gifts. For me, it's like this one I can die right now with that in mind, that I know that we can create most beautiful emotions in people. Mom can feel love, boyfriends can feel like romanticized. You can include anything you like in the artworks with no limitations. So it can be as fun or as classic or as specific to the topic as you like. Of course, personalization is a very important topic. It's very relevant. Everyone likes it. But with what we offer at Quintet London, it's on another level, personalized items. Such personalized space doesn't exist. All your dreams can come true on our personalized keepsakes in the form of wearable art. So can be pocket squares, can be ribbon scarves, and 60% of people frame them. So it's so nice to know that many bedrooms have our artworks. Yes.
What started your journey, and why was it a mission for you to create something about personalization and something that's so unique?
The actual journey started from university project. We were creating artworks around 5 cultures on one design. I graduated strategic fashion management at London College of Fashion, so University of the Arts. And we were 5 people, hence the name, the brand name, I kept it. It's called Quintet London because it was by 5 people and made in the UK. Continued venturing because I was project manager, found a company who wanted us to draw horses. And that's me personally alone said, why only horses? When you can draw people's dreams, experiences, favorite objects. So since then, I've been doing it alone. I just simply kept the name Quintet London because I truly believe in narrative. I think it's all about the storytelling. And I'm very proud of my first year of the course and the journey and meeting other course mates. If not that, I wouldn't come up with this idea. And it's really important link to me. More and more, I realized me and my family, we're people who truly love gifting. Not the gifts that are just simply gifts, but the gifts that suit people. Like, for example, I never recycle gifts. To my friends, I always gifted something before my brand, genuinely for them. I know that they will use it, it's suitable for them, or they will be happy to explore. So it's really important that I always wanted to do that. And through our gifting and obviously how it started, we were able to create this like utterly personalized gift solutions for people who either have it all or want to gift something that no one has gifted yet.
Something like this creates a form of connection and care and almost like a message I care about you and I really thought about you. So I wanted to show you that with something that I've created. It's personal, it's meaningful. I didn't just go, and buy you a perfume, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I mean, I like perfumes, but this is something that's meaningful.
Any gift we can give to our friends, they can buy themselves with the budget we have. I believe with what we created, Quintet London, money can't buy. It's your unique stories of each person and relationship you have with your girlfriend or with your friend, like trips you have done. You can even have favorite cocktail and shoes, or we have so many incredible stories. There's some I don't even want to mention, but we have Xenia triple stitch sneakers, or many different dogs and burgers in the sky instead of stars. I mean, anything you can imagine. And also because it's made with 100% satin silk. It's so beautiful. It's heavy. It's luxurious gift. All together creates really something really meaningful. When people receive it from far away, you look at it and you're like, oh, such a nice design. Then you're like, look closely. There is this, there is that. And I will never forget, there was this one of our clients was telling us that she gave to her husband anniversary gift and she included everything that he loves. And he looked at it and he was like, oh my God, there's everything I love here. But where is my dog? And she was like, look closely. He's there too. People think that how much you have to think about them, you become very thoughtful. You discover your friends even deeper, and the actual process of creating is really beautiful. But also what's important, you don't need to know too many things about your friends. For example, I'm creative director and the founder, so I'm bridge between the artists and the clients. So we don't need you to be creative. If you are creative, you're more than welcome, but otherwise you don't have to. We can come up with the most beautiful concept for you.
Nice. I love that. Also wanted to ask you, because you're very entrepreneurial and very inspiring, what is entrepreneurship for you specifically? And what attracted you to that kind of insecure life? Because you're putting yourself out into a world where you have ups and downs. It's not your, standard 9 to 5. So what attracted you to that environment in general?
Sense of freedom is very important to me. Anywhere I worked, always, in any case, always had to be was important for me to be entrepreneurial. And this is the space that I appreciate. I always dreamed to just work for myself. It is tough, definitely tough to be toughest manager of yourself. When you have your own business, you have to be like the worst manager of yourself. But obviously, you really need to you have to have self-discipline, and you really need to know what powers you and why you are doing it. And you really truly have to have the passion. And I always knew that there will be time when I will just be doing my business. And this is the time right now. It's really special with ups and downs. I always say, be careful what you wish for. I was keep asking universe, I am successful entrepreneur, founder of the most personalized and most beautifully emotion evoking gifts with lots of hard work and many days that I need to really just truly being doing 24/7 work. But this is what I dreamed for, and I have huge belief in it. And let's see.
When you're passionate and also when you put in the work, when the combination of the two is, solidly together. Obviously, you'll always have challenges, but it's the way to achieve success by passion and by hard work, because a lot of people can have passion. Maybe they struggle with hard work, or maybe they struggle with the insecurity of this kind of life because you don't know what necessarily will be happening tomorrow. Things could go maybe wrong sometimes. So what do you think is important for an entrepreneur?
To just simply believe in yourself. If you choose this path, you should definitely never ever question if there will be it will be uncertain. You need to simply just put your 100% work every day and expect positive. I think it's all about thinking, for example, me, I'm in this stage right now that I know money is not an issue. It's not because of what I do, but I have this self-belief in my brand that this will not stop. That's what you need to have. Regardless of ups and downs and days, I know that money is not an issue. I'm 300% certain. And I think that's what you need to believe in. As soon as you have this belief, naturally it flows. But obviously with the discipline and passion and good product. Regardless of that, believing in yourself that that won't be an issue as an entrepreneur allows you to attract that.
Do you believe or do you think that that kind of belief can be built, as in if you don't have it, you can build it and start thinking that way if you're not naturally that way inclined as a person? Or do you think only certain people can be entrepreneurial?
A very good question. No one ever asked me and I never thought about that, but I think I have an answer, which is everyone can do it. Everyone can do it. However, you really want it. Any person can do anything. So yes, some people are born like that, but some people are born in the situations, in the friend circle and in different things that they wouldn't necessarily be entrepreneurs, but they became one because they really got inspired by someone from something else, but they were entrepreneurial spirit. And then they, based on that, came up with this idea. I truly believe that everyone is capable of doing everything. I think so. I think everyone can do it if they want it. If they truly want it, you don't have to have a specific skill set to be entrepreneur. When you want something very deeply, you are doing it. Maybe it will take you longer than others, but you will still be able to do it.
Well, that's the thing, because I listen to a lot of people who talk about this. People grow up in different environments. Some people could grow up in an environment where they have, for example, means, or they could grow up in an environment where they didn't have anything. They didn't have money. Their parents didn't believe in them, and they can still achieve the same things. Obviously, very, very different routes to that success. I wonder if it's something also in the blood in someone in general.
I think we have in genes as well, for sure, because I know from my ancestors, we have people who were doing like similar things. And I think it's that as well. However, if a person decides that they want to be entrepreneur, I believe they will be able to succeed if they will really want it. But the problem is that many people can't get out of this and they want to have sense of security. And that is different. It's one thing that you can do it. Another thing is that you can break the cycle and you don't mind to live in this uncertainty. And that is not even the entrepreneurial spirit, but it's more of a personality trait, like how strong you are and how much you want to live your life to the fullest.
Sense of security could be quite appealing because it feels a bit reassuring, because you're like, yeah, there's this income, especially if people have mortgages, children, school fees, all that. But I've also just remembered as we're talking, there are a lot of stories of people who have completely normal lives until something major happens, which pushes them to start a business. It's almost like, okay, so I saw a gap in something, or there was a need for me to make money. So I started doing, and then the business grew and they became entrepreneurs out of need. It wasn't even something they necessarily wanted, but that need pushed them.
I think in general, with the new wave, more and more people will be entrepreneurs because so many people realize that it's so inflexible to work from 9 to 5 or, I don't know, 10 to 7. This is something that, I don't know, in 10 years probably will be like so many entrepreneurs with their own business. And obviously not everyone gonna be succeeding, but again, it's like discipline and pushing your hardest and so on. I believe there is nothing better than not having 9 to 5 job. I will do all it takes, my 300% to not go back there. I really like to do like many different things, like guest lecturing and, being part of like different associations and so on. So, that also allows you as an entrepreneur that you have like different source of income, which is nice. I think there will be more and more different educational practices and so on, even in schools. It's evolving so much. It's crazy and I'm excited and I'm happy for everyone because it's in a way like imprisonment when you have this Monday to Friday job and you cannot go to do like during the day quick thing you want to do, you can't do.
Well, I have to admit, because I grew up in Bulgaria and that's where I went to school, the educational system was very much, let's find you a standard job. It wasn't ever about, oh, are you talented, or is there something that, there was none of that. If it's a part of the education system, that I feel like that will turn things around so much because it will unlock new ways of thinking from a young age. And then you can grow up differently and think about all these possibilities and, seeing opportunities to create things and all that.
Absolutely. And there's so many topics that we should have learned at the school and we didn't. like literally like finance or so many different things we could have learned.
Taxes.
Oh my God, taxes, like the most important topics that we have not learned. And I'm hoping that at least like evolving countries will, or evolved countries will put in place, and the slowly whole world will have in their schooling systems as well.
You seem like quite a positive person who sees opportunities. What is the first thing when you wake up in the morning? What's your first thought? I love that. I find that quite interesting.
It's actually funny a bit because it's over weekend. I was, I was with my friend. It was my childhood, like very, very closest friend's wedding. And during 3 days, I was telling all of my friends that you have to that you have to say this with me. I believe something wonderful gonna happen to me today. And we had like, it was such a nice weekend because we were like, has anything wonderful? And I was like, for me happened. And at the end of the day, everyone have their wonderful, right? For me, something small can create their wonderful. My something small to others can create their wonderful. So at this stage right now, last 8 days, every morning, first thing I wake up, I think something wonderful gonna happen to me today.
I love that so much. Actually, I don't know if it was a podcast or a book or something, and it said, before bed, every night, say to yourself, tomorrow, something incredible, something wonderful will happen to me. And then when you wake up in the morning, say, something wonderful will happen to me today. And the reason is when you do that, your brain starts looking for the signs of that. If you have a negatively inclined mindset, you might walk down the street and, for example, a bird is chirping and that annoys you. But if you have the positively inclined mindset, that will be something that you'll be like, oh, this is something nice happening to me because I'm interacting with nature. You'll react to the things that are happening to you differently also.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it is. Absolutely. I think in general, it's all about like how you perceive life and how you feel about life on that specific day. That's how you attract things. That's how you interpret things. Because at the end of the day, it's like one exactly same thing can look totally different based on your mood. And it's really, really important to program yourself. At the end of the day, we are programming ourselves every single day. Like one little thing I can tell you, my friend was one day opening a door for a lady, ran up to the door and to open, and the lady thought that she was going to go first outside, but actually she was opening the door for her, so this is kind of perfect example that, everyone have their own perception, some negative, some positive. For example, me, I would think that this person is definitely opening the door for me. Me, I'm like that. I'm a bit delusionally positive. Like most of the time, I expect something really good to happen, something wonderful to happen to me.
When you're delusional in that kind of way, you change your brain, good things start happening to you. The brain is very powerful. What you put in it as thought, it's literally changing your life. So that's why it's very important to be delusional. There was actually a very cool story or reel on Instagram, which said, let's do the Delulu challenge. Let's be delusional for 30 days in a row and then see how your life actually starts to change. So be delusional, like, oh, I'm going to get this job, or like 30 days. It's almost like play, right? So you're playing. First of all, you're being positive, and also you're putting this playful energy out. So you're almost like interacting with the universe in a playful way. I'm feeling open to all these amazing opportunities. Show me what you got for me.
I love that. I think it's an amazing thing. And one thing I think part of being human and being successful is like, Diane von Furstenberg said this a lot. And since I was very young, that I was always remembering that she would say this, be best friend of yourself is one. And also for me, it's like keep promises to yourself. This is really important thing. I think when you keep promises to yourself, then everything is kind of, you keep promises to whole world, and then everything comes together.
Don't be the flaky best friend of yourself. Be the best friend of yourself that keeps your promises. That's important.
But I think that challenge is amazing. It's a great idea. I think I would encourage people to do that, because in any case, like doing something for 30 days, it can become a habit, and that will develop habit in you, so you could potentially continue being positive.
Somebody was saying how they were talking about happiness, how you see the world, how you're opening up to the world in percentages, where that comes from. 40% of that was almost like how you're programmed based off background, etc. 50% of that, I might get this wrong, but it was almost like the way you teach yourself. So 50% of the whole happiness thing it's entirely up to you. If you are a little negatively inclined, how I used to be in the past, you might just be stuck in these 40% of, how I used to be and how I grew up and all that. But actually, the bigger portion of that, it's completely possible to change. But you need to be delusional for 30 days, and then for 60 days, and then for 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many recipes and so much you can do, but I think most important is kind of to choose couple of things and do it. It's important because if you do so many things, you can't follow. Part of all of that for me is like, if I don't meditate every single day, it's important. I don't even imagine how I could live. Yeah, that is something very important to me.
What kind of meditation do you do?
So I've done many different ones, but right now I decided to do like simple and proper, being focused and not thinking about anything else. Of course, the thoughts are coming to your mind and going, but you have to go back on track and stop thinking. When you are focused, that's when magics happen. Many people don't realize that, but if you are literally 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes focused, if you manage to simply do the breathing exercise and don't think, try your best to not think about anything else, magics happen. It's crazy. And I've experienced myself. And I follow Sadhguru. And the simplest one you can follow there is called Isha Kriya. It's 15 minutes. I've done other ones which are like literally you have to do twice a day, 40 minutes and things like that. But this is like simple, clean, clear. You just really have to try to be focused.
I like the sound of 15 minutes because I'm not someone who can focus for too long. But 15 minutes also seems accessible. It seems like something you can definitely create space for.
You don't need more. If you do 15 minutes and if you are focused, you don't need more. That 15 minutes can sort out your whole entire day on another level.
Yeah, so I'm actually on an app at the moment and I do different guided meditations each morning and kind of like check which ones align most with me. I feel like the gratitude ones feel best because it's, being grateful, be like, yes, I'm grateful for this, and trying to find things to be grateful for. Because I feel like gratitude in general is such a powerful feeling. Like it brings a lot of good energy to you, opens up your creative process, your process of attraction.
Absolutely. I think that is something else because gratitude, that is like kind of more of an affirmation things, which is also really much important to do. But I think what's important while you're doing that to repeat the actual words, not just listen, but repeat it and feel it. That's the only way it works. Otherwise, we listen music and there are things going on background. Focus is the most important. Focus is the key. Focus is the key.
Like you said, feeling, because when you feel it with your body, it's almost like becomes a recognized thing. It's like, okay, so this feels familiar now because I'm feeling it. So it's becoming a part of my experience. And when something becomes a part of the experience and you keep having it as a part of your experience, that changes over time. It changes your whole way of being.
I agree with that. This is the topic I feel like it's just so important, and more we are becoming aware of the importance of it, even like people like from different generations and so on. And I love this topic. I do many different things as well, but I think meditation is definitely something that I follow without a fail every single day.
I feel like I'll start doing because actually breathing, like you say, just breathing feels so soothing to me in general. When you have a moment you're like stressed out or a bit lose track of your feelings and all that, and then you start breathing, it immediately centers you back. And actually most of the time we go around and we're not breathing properly, and so that's again a whole other thing. Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to done many different type of things like that, like, I don't know, sound healing gong, tapping on your face and things like that. There is so much. There is so much in this
Would you
world.
recommend tapping?
I think it's amazing. It is really good, but I feel like this is something that I'm not yet there, but I think it's great. Everything that they come up with, some different concept, they definitely, if you follow religiously, they really have beautiful impact on you, but you have to follow them.
I love that. There's so many ways to wake up to a creative spirit, to unlock that part of us that is curious about the world, that is curious and trying to find opportunities. I feel like it's just about unlocking that with people. And it's so beautiful to see with people like you who are so inspiring. It's addictive. The people you surround yourself with are really important, because if you surround yourself with inspiring, creative people, that will also almost prompt you to be that way as well yourself.
I always say I choose friends based on, it's crazy, but naturally, every friend of mine, I want to be them to some extent. I'm extremely proud of my friends. I look up to them and they look up to me in their part of the world. They are doing something, and it's extremely important. Every friend of mine, I want to be to some extent them. That's how I always lived, and I am, and I have really special friends. And I know that if something happened in the world, everything destroyed, nothing gonna be on the earth. If I'm with my friend, we're gonna rebuild it and do it even better.
People don't realize the importance of friends enough, actually. Whilst friends are not family, as in the way that you can choose and decide who your friends are, sometimes people stick with their friends over time. There's almost like no point of connection. There's no point of inspiration. I feel like that's a very important thing to think about. Who do you want to be and who do you surround yourself with?
Absolutely. It's super important. The type of personality I have, there are topics I like to talk about and the conversations I have with my friends. For me to truly call you my friend, really like many people can think I'm their friend, but my art friend, like my soul friend, there's some topics I have to be able to talk about. And doesn't matter how many years I know you. My very, very close friends are not my childhood friends anymore. You don't need to know people for long. You just need to be on the same wavelengths and values, of course. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I meet so many incredible people for the podcast, which I love, which is one of my things that I love about it, that I get to have these lovely conversations. So it was a good thing to create. And then, because I also inspire myself like this, because conversations, the good conversations are important.
Oh, it's so in like, for example, this conversation that we have right now, it's important for both of us as well because it creates this beautiful space and the topics we discuss. Sometimes you don't discuss day to day and it obviously motivates you and more. I think it's beautiful and very healthy thing to do.
I feel like a good way to end the conversation would be to inspire people and to tell them also how to find inspiration. Because when I started years ago, inspiration felt very distant to where I was in my life. And I started reading books. And then also things that are not just woo-woo, things that are about the brain, neuroscience, listening to people who are having incredible conversations, who are showing you can change your path. If something is in a certain way, it doesn't have to stay that way. If somebody doesn't know where to start, a good way is to look for people who have maybe changed their own lives and seek inspiration in them.
That is one thing, but also really being friend of yourself. Like inner work is extremely important and understanding what you like. And then, of course, seeing beautiful examples of other people, it's really nice to look at them. But I think first you really, really look at yourself. First starts within. I know there are so many cliche words, but these cliche words are cliche for a reason. Really, you need to do the inner work to be able to make an impact outside.
I love that. Thank you so much for today's conversation. I really enjoyed it. It was incredible. And I loved when you said that you wake up and you're like, what amazing thing will happen to me today? Because that was my new thing. And I noticed the difference. I genuinely noticed the difference. And it's one sentence. It's one sentence that makes such a big difference to your life, to your day. It's incredible.
Yeah, it does magics. Let's everyone who listens say, I believe something wonderful gonna happen to me today.
And
Repeat.
tomorrow and every day. Let's be delusional.
Yes, let's do a wonderful challenge. 30 days. Let's do 30 days. I believe something wonderful gonna happen to me today.